Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the ArchBall Podcast. I'm joined by Callum Owen, Morgan Harvey, Tom Kalis, and Jack Bibb. And in this episode, we're going to be discussing our personal England squads for the Euros in the summer, and what better way to do so with a tier list. Gareth Southgate's got quite a difficult job to do, I'd say. So we're going to be trying to put ourselves in his shoes, as there's a lot of competition, especially in the attacking positions. There's 5 different tiers in this tier list. You've got 100% will start, players who are guaranteed to start. There's a few of them. A could start section where the players who could start some games might play a part of the bench, but they'll be involved in the tournament most definitely. The players who will make the squad, but they might not have a big part to play on the pitch, but they're going to be on the plane. The unlikely, players who might just miss out, and the no chance, the players who will have no chance of getting on the plane. We'll start with Declan Rice.
That's pretty self-explanatory. He's obviously
Yeah, I think he's 100%. But Jack, do you want to take over since you're controlling?
Yeah,
it's probably easier.
I think he's not obviously the best player in the squad, but because of his position and our sort of shortage in that holding midfield position, then he's going to be probably a starter, isn't he? Since he's made his debut, he has pretty much played every game for England. So I'd probably say that.
Yeah, he's
in that.
He is a bit of an easy shout, I'd say. Yeah.
This season he's been excellent as well.
Is there any point in me making the case for Jordan Henderson to be the 100% star over him?
To be honest, they're going to start together.
I think they will start together.
It's whether we want to categorise them as like, it's for viewing purposes. It's like for the viewers, we're not saying 100% will start because they're like a world beater. It's probably just because of the fit of the system that they'll slot in there, won't they? So.
In which case, Jordan Henderson's in the top category, so I'm more than happy.
Yeah,
still like it. That's all I want.
I haven't got Jordan. I've got Jordan Henderson in the second one, but we can carry.
He's all right with Tyrone Mings. He's probably going to go because of Southgate, but does he or should he go?
Is Tyrone Mings on next? Is Tyrone Mings on next?
Yeah. If Keane was choosing, he'd be there.
Yeah, I've put him in no chance.
When you think of it logically, he's a left-footed centre half, which I don't think we have any others. And if we play a 3 at the back, then a left-footed centre half's quite important to have, I think, really. So it's. I'd definitely say
unlikely. I don't. There's people that can play in that.
Even taking my biased hat off to not say I hate Tyrone Mings, but I think he will just miss out. Anyway. I don't think he's a good enough centre back to go, and he's on the fringes anyway.
Yeah, I don't think he's good enough. I feel like Southgate will send him there though, regardless.
He's a big physical presence as well, and we scored. I was doing an article for Grealish the other day. We scored 8 goals from set pieces today, so that's including penalties as well, which we scored a few of. But we were quite good at 2018 World Cup by scoring set pieces with Maguire and Stones. Yeah. So I think that was obviously could be in his mind. Yeah,
could be.
It's one of those. It's really up for debate. I'm trying to think because he's been in the past England squads, and I think he has, isn't he? He's played quite a few.
Yeah, he's been in a couple.
Seems to be one of Southgate's
favourites.
What are we going to say then?
Are we basing it off what we choose, or are we basing it off what we think will happen? Because
I think what we choose.
I reckon our personal opinion.
It's personal.
If we're doing it off what we choose, then I think he's probably going to be unlikely. I think.
Yeah.
That's fair to say. Okay.
Maitland-Niles, no chance.
He's not going.
We'll go through him logically. Maitland-Niles ain't getting in.
I'm not just saying this because I'm an Arsenal fan, but he was in the past couple of England squads as well.
Like
you got
his
to think
versatility
of it
does help the squad out, but he just won't go, will he? Though
I think he's literally the kind of player, a nice versatile player. But I think you're going to choose Saka over him if you want the versatile player.
Yeah, because he probably plays as a wing back, wouldn't he?
Yeah. So I'd say
if he went, he wouldn't play apart from maybe in the group stage. They normally rotate if we're qualified. So I'd say he's probably unlikely, but probably no chance if we want to balance it.
No chance.
The balance of that.
It's not a bad player. It's just we have a lot of good players now. To be fair,
Yeah.
The same with Wan-Bissaka.
I think Wan-Bissaka has no chance.
By England.
He hasn't been capped by
Southgate
England.
doesn't seem to favour him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
he's
he's
a way into the squad.
Pretty sure he's unofficially chosen to play for Congo, so I don't think he's.
Is he still
Been
on
drafted.
Chance of him being in the Euros.
He hasn't officially played for him,
noticed?
has he? So
I've just noticed that in the tier list we don't have Luke Shaw there, and he would be 100% will start for me. I'm just saying.
Because we don't have John Stones either. So do we want to swap 2 players out with players that? Like,
don't
like
include him. We'll just mention.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying now that Luke Shaw would be in my 100% will start. Just to clarify.
Okay, right. Wan-Bissaka, no chance. I'm going to put him in there.
Yeah, Wan-Bissaka, no chance.
Chilwell. Well, talking to Luke Shaw then, left back competition. Chilwell.
I think could start.
Thoughts?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Could start. I reckon.
Chilwell's a good player, though.
At the start of the season, everyone was thinking he was nailed on, but I don't think he's as good as people thought he was. He's still a decent player, but I think he could start.
Tuchel's not playing him as well. Tuchel's not playing him as much.
Because Alonso's a good wing back. So
yeah.
He could start. Why don't he won't?
Yeah, it all depends because Luke Shaw's obviously got his injury problems. So I think that's the only way he'd start because Luke Shaw's playing too well at the moment.
It is. Right. Callum Wilson.
Unlikely.
It's unlikely.
No chance.
Maybe
I say no chance just because of the amount of good strikers we have.
Yeah.
But he's a good player, to be fair.
Yeah. He's
I
got
think
a
if
lot
it
of
was
goals
last
for Newcastle
season,
this
he
year.
would have got it.
Yeah, potentially.
If it was last
Calvert
season,
Lewin would have been in the fold.
He's not been in a squad for a while, so I don't think he's like, and especially with Bamford and Calvert-Lewin's success this season, I don't think he'll be in it. So we're right putting him no chance. Yeah. Okay. Calvert-Lewin.
He's
on the plane.
On the plane. Yeah. He's not going to start, but he's going to have an impact off the bench, I reckon.
I definitely think it's one of those clutch games when we need a last minute goal. He'll probably come on.
Yeah.
Bang him into the box sort of person.
But I don't think he's going in any big game. He's not going to be pushing to start at all.
No,
It'll be like Jack said. If I don't know, we're through the group and we've got one game left, he'll maybe start in that, like he did against Belgium in the World Cup. But he won't be starting in any game of any significance. Put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Again, like Tyrone Mings, he's one of those that he's obviously quite a big lad, isn't he? He's good in the air and stuff. So if we do need to change it up against it, like if say we're playing, I don't know who's like a really bad team going to the Euros, but like when we played the bad teams World Cup, who was in our group? Was it Iran?
Panama.
Tunisia.
Like those teams that sit behind the ball, they're not necessarily the most biggest of teams, but you might just want to lump him on to sort of rough him around a bit. So one of those players, isn't there? But Connor Cody.
I think he's on the plane.
We all like him. We all like him
a lot. I think I was debating whether to put him in my squad, and I put him on the plane because as well I was kind of thinking about Southgate's that we could play a three at the back, and Connor that's what he's used to playing.
If we play three at the back, he's got to start in it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
100%. I think regardless of the system, he won't start, but especially with the predictable three at the back is Harry Maguire, John Stones, and Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
And you need someone like Connor Cody who can easily slot into a three at the back, who's good enough to slot into a three at the back, but also you wouldn't complain leaving him on the bench.
Yeah.
So I think he's a perfect player to take.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. Yeah, he's definitely in that category. Okay, Danny Ings.
I'd take him personally.
I'd take him.
I've got him as unlikely.
I left him out. Yeah, unlikely.
I think the main reason is just because you've got Kane and Kane and Calvert-Lewin. I don't think you have enough room for.
He won't be able to. He wouldn't start. Yeah.
What I'd say.
I had enough room when I did mine for three strikers.
Yeah, I put three in mine as well. What I'd say about Ings is I think last season he was second top goal scorer, joint with Aubameyang behind Salah, or
something like that.
Vardy
Vardy won it, didn't he? Vardy.
Vardy won it, but I think this season he started off well when Southampton are playing well, but he's dropped. He had an injury, didn't he? And then he's dropped off a bit. He's not quite picked it up again. So probably, what do we say? Unlikely then. He's not no chance. But he's
it's unlikely.
I think unlikely is fair, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
To be fair, with 3 strikers, you don't if Rashford's going, you don't need to put 3 strikers because Rashford can easily play as a striker.
True.
And Sterling as well, but I wouldn't.
Worst comes to worst, yeah.
I wouldn't play Sterling though.
I wouldn't, but if it needs be, you can.
Okay. Dele Alli, I think is
No
no
chance.
chance.
Really, is it?
Maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, he was not one of our best players in the World Cup squad, but he was obviously starting every game, wasn't he? With Lingard in the middle, but yeah, he's nowhere near it anymore. Eric Dyer.
See, I hope he doesn't get on the plane.
I hope he doesn't.
Get him out. Just put him on the no chance.
Every time he plays for England, he doesn't play well. And now he's at the start of the season, he was playing well for Spurs. Apparently, I wasn't watching, but I was hearing that he was playing well. But now he's not playing well for Spurs either.
So he's not even playing. He's not even playing. He's on the bench. He's on the bench now. Yeah.
If you defend defending, he's literally just sits on like the 6-yard line. It's not exactly hard to look good if the ball's just coming in. You're constantly booting it out.
The only thing which was good about Dyer being in a squad was that he could play centre back and holding midfield. But there's literally no point now. There's no point.
The only good thing he did at the World Cup was score that penalty against Colombia. But like,
and it was a dodgy penalty anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird because that penalty seems to put him into every England squad conversation because it's all anyone remembers of him. He scored the penalty, so he must be a friend.
Yeah, he scored the penalty in the World Cup and the free kick in the Euros.
Yeah,
it's like that's all he's done. But yeah, I don't say he's not got no chance because he probably could get in the squad, but I'd say
he's the sort of player you want in the box when we're holding on for dear life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'd say unlikely. I won't go no chance. Just
unlikely.
In terms of playing, he's been in England's squad since he broke through 3-4 years ago, isn't he? But if we chose, it'd be no chance. But if we're sort of basing it a bit off both, then he's going to be unlikely, probably, isn't he?
Unlikely is a safe bet, I think.
I think it's probably because he's in the Spurs squad so regularly that he still gets the chances.
Yeah. Harry Kane,
I think
100%.
No debate. This is an easy one.
And we'll even put him in front of Declan Rice because, England captain, he's got sort of 20 plus goals, isn't he, for England, 200 plus for Spurs.
More than that.
Yeah,
he's the first name on the team sheet, surely.
Yeah, he is. Well, the first, got to be if he's captain. Harry Maguire.
I don't know if he should be captain, though.
Start.
I'm saying 100% starting.
To be fair, we haven't really got much better.
Harry Maguire's
top centre back anyway.
Yeah. You can argue Stones being better, but them two together are the best partnership we've got.
Yeah,
I think Maguire. It'll be good for the left side to have Maguire and Shaw. I think if they're both fit, it's good to have 2 players who are used to playing with each other on the international level. So if the left side consists, I'm not saying it will, but if it did consist of Maguire, Shaw, and Rashford, that's like 3 players who are playing with each other every week. So it would be good to have the familiarity.
Is that where Maguire plays United? Is in the left centre back?
Left centre back, yeah. I think that's where he'll play for England as well, since we don't have a left-footed centre back.
Yeah, because Stones plays on the City as well. So
I don't want to see Harry Winks anywhere near this team.
Neither.
Yeah, I've never. He's a very reliable footballer, but I've never liked him a lot. And a lot of people give him a lot of hype, but I don't think he's anywhere near that.
I see him as like the B-Tech Jordan Henderson.
Don't put their names in the same sentence.
Yeah,
he's like a worse Jordan Henderson.
To be honest,
it's like when Tom on the last podcast talked about how Gundogan at City used to just be sideways and backwards, and he's had this incredible breakthrough. I'm waiting for Winks to have that breakthrough, and I don't see it coming anytime soon.
Yeah,
keep waiting.
I did like Winks. I do like Winks as a player. Like when I've watched him previously, but I don't think he gets into the squad. Like there's too many other options who are just ahead of him, and like you said, he hasn't really kicked on from 2 years ago.
His best asset is passing, and then we've got better pass than him. Henderson's so much better at passing, so it's just that.
Right, next one, Harvey Barnes.
See,
He's a good player.
I put unlikely, but Harvey Barnes has been playing very well recently. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I feel like he's one.
got,
I feel like he's one who could sneak in if he continues his form, but it's probably unlikely.
Who would he sneak in instead of?
Yeah, exactly.
But he plays as a left winger, so he'd either go in over Sterling, Rashford, or Sancho. One of those three.
He's not better than any of them.
I think the only reason he gets in is for injuries.
Yeah.
So is that we're putting him in unlikely then?
Unlikely.
Interestingly enough, I think I saw something the other day. He's actually got the most goals.
You put him in no chance.
Sorry, my bad. Continue. He's got the most goals out of any English midfielder in the Premier League this season. If you class him as a midfielder, he's winger / midfielder, but he's got the most. And he did just play really well against Liverpool, and he wouldn't get in, but he's a good player. It's been a big breakout season for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Dean Henderson
could start.
I left him out of the squad.
I think he might not be in the squad just because he hasn't been.
Who's the West Brom goalkeeper?
Sam Johnston.
Carl
Johnston's played really well this season. He turned up against United again last week, where Maguire in the last minute headed it and he saved it onto the post.
I reckon Johnston's definitely better than Pickford.
I think the only way Henderson has a shout of getting on the plane, I don't think he'll get on the plane because he's just not playing enough. But if he does start playing for United in the second season, he could get in the squad.
I reckon he could get into it 100%. Yeah.
It depends how much he plays for United in the second half of the season.
I'd put him as unlikely. I think Darlow and Johnston's both better than him because they play.
Yeah, I think you can't really take a keeper who doesn't play.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing that I think is that I think obviously Southgate has his ideal. I mean, he starts building his team 2 years before every tournament, doesn't he? Like you see it in the qualifiers. He sort of picks the same teams, and you got to be really good to get in. And I think especially with goalkeeper, you want to have someone that you can rely on. And and Carl Darlow and Sam Johnston, I haven't really seen them play for English youth teams. I'm sure they have, but Henderson has come all the way through and obviously then made it into the squad probably a year or so ago. So I think he might be on obviously there'll be three keepers. I think he'll be in there because he's got that trust. So, but he definitely won't start.
Could well.
You've got to take into consideration how many goals West Brom and Newcastle have conceded. That's what Southgate would take into consideration.
Yeah, but he's an idiot if he does that.
I know. Obviously, you just take off the save percentage, but especially at West Brom, if they get relegated, he's not going to get into it.
Every time I've watched Sam Johnston, he's played very well there.
Yeah, he's a good goalkeeper. He's a good shot stopper.
Yeah.
How old is Johnston? Yeah. How old is he?
Mid-20s?
He must be like 24, 25. He's
mid-20s, I think.
He came out of United and went to West Brom.
I remember him at United ages ago, but obviously he had a couple of loan spells.
He's 27.
Oh wow!
I wouldn't put Henderson in, but I do think he should be on the plane. Just in our
ability-wise,
just because I think he will be.
He is good enough to be on the plane, 100%.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this, we need to have 23 names in these three categories, don't we?
The three categories.
But do we put him in because we think that we're going to have three keepers and he's likely going to be one of them?
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah.
I think the keepers on there, they're probably the ones that are going to go, regardless of form. They'll probably be them three.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not.
Callum Hudson-Odoi, I don't think
unlikely.
Is. Definitely played better. Definitely played better since Tuchel came in, but I don't think he's.
Tuchel thinks he's a great. You can tell that Tuchel rates him as well because he's played a lot more since he's came in. But I don't think he's. I don't think he's going to get in.
Better than what we've got really.
I think he's a really good player, but I think he's unlikely to go.
He's unlikely.
Unlikely. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Jack Grealish
will take a few injuries.
Grealish should start.
See, I don't know if he's 100. I don't know if Grealish is 100%.
He's got to be.
I don't think he'll start.
I don't think he will start, but I think he has to start. But I don't think he will. Yeah, that's.
Personally,
I don't think you can ignore that. I don't think you can ignore how well he's been playing this season.
Yeah.
you'd have to be stupid to not put him in the team.
Yeah, well, you have to keep in mind who the manager is as well. He is, so, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't put him in the team.
But the thing is, I think it's about getting a good entire team together, and I would personally start Foden over Grealish. I think Foden would start, but because he's a better player, I think he'd work in a team better overall. yeah.
Tom's agree.
I can completely understand why he'd start, but like I'd personally start because the thing at Aston Villa, it's all based around him, and he plays from the left. So obviously Foden doesn't play through the middle for City most of the time, but I feel like Foden could replicate his form easier in England. But realistically, either one of them starting would be good.
Yeah.
I can understand why you'd put 100% would start.
Yeah. So what are we doing? Are we basing off our opinion or Southgate's opinion then? Because we'd all start him 100%, but what do we want to put him in?
I think it's more. It's obviously, I think it's our decision, and I do think if it was up to us, Grealish would be starting.
I'd start him.
Yeah, let's keep him in there then. Okay. Jadon Sancho.
On the plane,
I think he could start.
Could start.
Yeah.
But I think Rashford's better than him. Sterling's better than him. Grealish, could say is better than him. Foden could say is just as good, if not better than him.
Sterling and him that's not very similar. Kind of similar. They're both dribblers.
I think Sancho could start. It depends the kind of game, because I think still he is probably one of the best creatively out of the front line.
Most skillful.
Yeah, but it's just I think Southgate's going to go with the tried and trusted Kane, Sterling, Rashford.
Sancho.
That is
I think he could start.
I think could start. Yeah.
I think the big thing is, obviously our last tournament was 2018, and a lot of that team won't be in this team. Like Lingard probably not, and Dele Alli probably not, and a couple of other names will be out of it. Since then, we've had so many players like Grealish, Sancho, Calvert-Lewin, even Chilwell. All of them have come through, and we've not really had a lot of matches to base them off. Like there's not been that time where we said that's going to be the squad. So I think when we play next month in March in our warm-up games and in the ones before the tournament, I think we'll obviously have a better indication then, and we'll have to see if Sancho starts or not. But yeah, for now, he's not.
I think that the sides that start in March will be. I think if you're starting in March, you're starting in the tournament.
You'd hope, unless you play really well in the remainder of the season and break your way in. I think you'd hope that a bit of consistency. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Next one is James Madison.
I think on the plane.
He's on the plane.
Could start. I'd start him personally.
I don't know where he starts. That's the problem. I wouldn't. He won't start in the middle.
I wouldn't start him over Grealish or Foden, but
he's not going to start. I put him as unlikely. Unless he is in really good form, but I put Mount in the squad ahead of him.
I don't know. Madison's definitely more of an attacking threat.
I'm with Kane on that. I
think there's a lot of jokes about Mount, like we've all made them, but I think he's a good player for certain games. And I think James Madison's I do rate him quite highly, but I just don't think he'll make it because of that, because we've not got enough players, really.
I think Mount will be a backup 8. I think Mount will be a backup 8.
As my players who can play as a 10, I've got Foden, Grealish, and Mount.
I think Mount is probably better suited to a number 8 role. Like where it's like 2 number 8s in a CDM. I think he's just probably better position.
Yeah.
The problem with all of these players is Southgate doesn't really play a system that benefits. Yeah. And I think Jack Grealish is probably one that benefits the most out of this system. Phil Foden, just because they both play regularly off the left. If you're like Mount and Madison, who you'd say are much better as number 10s, there isn't really a number 10 position in Southgate's 3-4-3.
Yeah.
So I think they'll both be in the squad on the plane, but I think they'll both struggle to start.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Madison's on the plane. To be honest, I think he's only unlikely because I couldn't fit him in. But you could. I think elsewhere you could make, especially if he continues how he's playing, you're gonna have to make way for him.
And I worked him in as having him as a midfielder and considering Grealish as an attacker.
Yeah.
So it just depends how you see them.
But that's because you included Ward-Prowse though.
I've included Ward-Prowse.
I haven't.
I haven't.
Yeah,
he's a good player, but is he a bit of a set piece merchant?
Speaking of which,
the thing is, say if England had now we get a set piece 85th minute, he's on the field, it's 1-1, you'd back him to score.
No,
he's the only player in the squad that you could feel confident that would do that.
I think that's a big reason of putting him in. Well, not a big reason, but a decent reason of putting him in your squad. That he literally is.
Yeah, but what are the chances it's going to be a set? What is the chance it's going to be a set piece that wins us the game in the last minute?
If you say that Madison's on the plane / unlikely because obviously in his position there's a lot of players that could get ahead. Would you put Ward-Prowse ahead of him just because he's going to maybe come off the bench and take a free kick when we've got Grealish, Rashford,
even Madison's good at free kicks. He scored one against Liverpool the other day.
Madison is good, but I've got Madison's not. I'd think Ward-Prowse plays from deeper. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not amazing, but I think
he's a pivot player.
He can play in the pivot, whereas I don't think Madison can.
No, Madison.
So he's my backup in my squad. He's my backup for
But you put him in solely based off the fact that he might score a free kick.
The problem is, I don't think Ward-Prowse should be included just because he can score a free kick. I think he's good enough to be included. His free kicks help him. His set pieces help him.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's a fantastic player, and I do think if we're looking someone that can be the cover to Henderson and Rice, I do think he's got to be the backup.
Yeah, I don't think he's amazing. I think he's a good player, but I don't see another holding midfielder or like a more defensive sided midfielder who can play in a pivot who's better than him, who isn't Rice or Henderson.
But then you got to take into consideration how else Southampton do for the rest of the season.
Yeah, but also you can't just base players off just purely
off their teams.
Club form. Because,
I know.
Last season, you couldn't just say Grealish is a bad player because he's playing for relegation to Villa because he's obviously one of the best in the league this season. So
yeah, but I'm saying, say for Leicester, they push City right to the end, and then you don't include Leicester because Madison will be a key pot, and then pushing City. Yeah. Then you can include Ward-Prowse in case say Ward-Prowse finishes like 15th with Southampton. Then I think you put Madison over Ward-Prowse.
Yeah,
but you're saying you've got him as cover for Henderson and Rice. Are you planning on playing Henderson and Rice both starting as having one of them as a 6?
No, I've got both of them in a pivot.
I've got both of them starting just because you've got to consider the system that Southgate plays.
You got both of them in a double pivot.
I'm not playing in my team. I'm not playing a 3 at the back, so I've got them 2 and in my starting 11. I've got them 2 and Foden.
See, I had a 4-3-3 with just a single pivot because we've got that many good players going forwards. I don't think you can fit Rice and Henderson in the team. If you're going to play a double pivot like you want to play, I would take Ward-Prowse, yes, but if you're playing a single 6, then I would say you don't need him.
I think it's I think it's I think it's easier to play a double, like play a 4-2. I think I said it in the last podcast, but I think it's easier to replicate a 4-2-3-1. I think a single pivot, especially because Rice doesn't play it as a single pivot at West Ham, so I think it's just easier to replicate form of a 4-2-3-1. That's why I chose it.
Yeah. I think what we should do after we release the podcast is we should all do an ideal lineup and everyone show what their lineup would be, because obviously what we've got to take into account is everyone's going to have different formations. Southgate's going to have a different formation. There's a lot of reasoning behind who you'd pick and why. So I think we should do that, and then people can see the reasoning why we'd pick certain players. So I think we'll do that. Yeah. So what's the decision on Ward-Prowse then? A lot of debate.
I think he's on the plane.
On the plane.
Okay, we'll put him there for now. The only thing I think is I don't think you have Madison and Ward-Prowse on the plane.
Yeah.
Together, and Mason Mount. I don't think you can have. I think you can have one out of those 3. I don't think you can have 2 really. Maybe.
If we're putting
I think you
Madison
can
on
have
the
to.
plane, I think you take Ward-Prowse off of it.
If it's a choice between them,
I think
There's choice
Mount can
between them,
play
you drop
in the
Ward
pivot
Prowse.
as well, though.
Yeah. We'll keep him there for now.
Yeah, we can change it up if we need to.
Okay.
Joe Gomez ain't going.
Joe Gomez
He's
is injured, so he won't. He would be, but he's not.
He'd start, but
he would not start.
he would.
He could do.
Stones is in, and I can't
Before Stones' form, I think it was Gomez and Maguire, but Stones has played his way into the starting lineup.
He'd start over Walker.
If you played a three at the back, then
I wouldn't have.
Oh yeah, if you're doing a free, Gomez starts. If you're doing a forward 2 centre halves, then it's tight, but he's injured, so either way.
No bother going on a 5-minute tangent when he's not going to be there.
He's not going.
Henderson has got to be
Brilliant. Just leave him there.
I think he's starting. I think he'll start.
I think he starts.
I wouldn't have him there.
See, I don't see how he couldn't be anywhere but there.
I think regardless if you think he's good or not, he's going to start.
Yeah.
Good thing I think he's quality then.
Pickford. This is a big debate. Let's move
weird. I don't think he starts.
I think
Let's move it together and get them out of the way with.
But they both have to go in could start because not one of them is guaranteed to start.
I agree.
I think that's where you've got to put them both.
I think Pope should start.
Just for reference, then, who would everyone start? Let's go Kane first.
Pope.
You can't start Pickford. It's got to be. It's either Pope. It's either Pope. Henderson isn't going to start if he doesn't play enough, but probably Pope.
All right, Morgan, what do you say?
Yeah, definitely Pope.
Pope. Callum.
Pope.
Tom. Caldalo.
No, not Dallo start.
Matt Macy.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing, don't want to go off again, but Pope's playing in a very bad Burnley team. Obviously, does a good job, but then you've got to consider that. But I think whoever's better, which is Pope, has got to play. But Southgate does love Pickford, and
Pope is massive as well. So in the box, he's so dominant.
But when we get a penalty shootout, who are you playing for a penalty shootout?
I don't think I've seen Pope save a penalty. He might have, but I don't think I've seen it.
Do Burnley ever concede penalties?
Yeah, it's a very un-Burnley thing to do would be to give away a penalty.
Yeah,
I feel like it's the same. We mentioned with Dyer about how the Colombia penalty shootout has given him a proper England reputation. Same with Pickford.
Pickford, yeah. I think we're all
Pickford's shown he can do it in a penalty shootout.
The only advantage he'll have. To be fair. He took one against?
He took one in the Nations League and scored it.
Yeah, that was good penalty. That to be fair.
If we're doing goalkeepers taken, then we'll stick Joe Hart in because of his pre-season penalty.
With Pope though, because he's so big, in a penalty shootout, surely he should save at least one. Surely.
Yeah.
You'd think.
You back any keeper to save at least one, so I don't think you can really put him in a team just because we might get a penalty shootout. So
yeah, true.
Okay. That's 50. Well, not 50-50, but we're putting both in could start then.
It's close.
Yeah. Jude Bellingham.
I don't think he's too young.
I think if there was an extra season, he might make it. But I think he's
just
been
playing
played
a lot
enough.
for Dortmund. He's played loads.
Yeah.
He's played in the Champions League.
Yeah, I know. But it's only
starts.
his first season in like a top league. I mean, he has played a lot, but one season
might be a bit much
of playing. Yeah, I wouldn't take him, but he has done well this season.
I wouldn't take him, but in his defence, we said before when Theo Walcott went to the 2006 World Cup, 16 years old, took him. He didn't play, got nowhere near to playing, but the experience didn't hinder him. So if there was ever a spare place, and you're not really looking for a player that's necessarily going to play, Jude Bellingham is the ideal call up. However,
I mean,
I don't think
there's an 8 and a 6.
Thinking about it as well, like if you're gonna have Ward-Prowse as like a backup, I'm kind of contradicting my own team, but if you're gonna have Ward-Prowse as a backup pivot player who's unlikely to play, you could always play Jude Bellingham because there's not much of a quality. There's probably not. I haven't watched Bellingham enough, but there's probably not much of a quality difference, and you get a much younger player for the future as well to play.
I feel like it's unlikely or no chance though. He's not really. He's not been around the England.
It is unlikely, but it would be a nice.
He's been in a couple of friendlies, isn't he? But
nice experience for him. But yeah, he probably won't just because of the quality.
Unlikely. no chance would be harsh, so unlikely.
Unlikely. Just out of interest, what position? Like, I know he's a midfielder, but is he an 8? Is he a ball progressor? Has anyone watched him enough?
I've been watching a bit of Dortmund. He kind of plays as like a pivot sort of player, but because they play with a 3, he's been playing as like a more advanced 6. So that's a bit.
I remember when he played for Birmingham. I'm pretty sure I heard a lot of people say he could like play quite a few different roles, like as a 6, as an 8.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's played as a 10 for Birmingham.
Forward. Yeah. I think he played like quite a few. He played. I might be wrong. I could have swore he played one of the wings for Birmingham as well. So
I think he's
Dortmund.
versatile.
He was quite versatile for them.
They've been playing with 3 midfielders.
As a young player would.
So he's been playing as an 8 at the moment.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, just to sign off then. That would be an interesting one, because I think our midfield, although we've got a lot of options, I think we're quite uncertain on who's the starter and who's not. But if he progresses as well as he should do, then you'd have to think he'd hopefully be our number 8 alongside a Rice or Anderson for quite a lot of while to come. So hopefully, he does that well. Another midfielder then, Calvin Phillips.
I think unlikely.
I'd say no.
He plays Rice's role,
unlikely.
I wouldn't say no chance. I'd say unlikely.
Yeah, again, no chance. I think he's a good enough player, and Southgate rates him. But if you're looking at the players that we want to take, Calvin Phillips isn't better than any of them.
He's not going to start over Rice. So.
Okay, fair dues. Michael Keane.
I've got him as on the plane.
I think on the plane.
Oh, no way.
No.
You're
not taking Michael Keane.
But no,
I've got him on the plane.
If you have to pick between Keane and Mings, I'm picking Keane. But obviously Mings is left-footed, then it's just...
Connor Cody.
I've got Connor Cody and Keane as the 2
backups. Who have you not? Have you got Walker as a right back?
I've got Walker as a right back.
I've got Walker as a centre back.
Yeah,
I've just included Trent and Walker.
Yes,
I said Reece James.
Reece James.
Reece James.
I think Walker can play right back. I think Walker's just as good. I don't think Reece James is good enough to take Kyle Walker out or like play him as only a centre back, because I think that's a waste of a position.
Michael Keane.
So I don't know whether it's just. Go on,
Tom. Explain why Keane isn't coming then. Why is it for you? Why is he not coming then?
He's not better than Cody. Who else have we got? Maguire, Stones, Cody, and Walker. If you want another one, I don't really think you need to take 3 centre backs. And then if you take Walker, if worse comes to worse and 2 people get injured, you can play him in there as well.
That's my thinking. Is Walker can play. I mean, he played at the World Cup as a centre back, didn't he? And obviously it depends on if it's a 3 or a 4 at the back. But I think having Walker, I think you can afford to leave Keane at home.
Yeah, I think playing a right centre back and a 3 back, and playing a centre back in a 4 back is a lot different though. Like if Kyle Walker was to play as a backup centre back, I think it's a lot different to playing like an actual centre back rather than like a back 3 centre back.
Yeah, I think Walker would only play as a backup centre back in the case of an injury. That's the only time I see him actually playing in like a 4 as a centre back. Only time.
Okay, so what we're going to put then? Unlikely, because I think he's played all right for Everton from what I've seen this season.
Unlikely.
We can always change it again. So then coming on to Kyle Walker, then I think he's
could start.
Could start.
I don't know.
I think he could start because, well, I guess I haven't included Reece James, but I've put him as could start in mine just because I don't think Trent's suitable to start every game. Yeah, depending against the opposition. I see Cal's face drop.
Don't. I'll talk up Trent when we get there, but he starts.
Let's keep going then. So Lewis
Dunk hasn't got a chance.
No chance. Yeah.
He might be a good player, but he's just not going to get in, is he?
I don't even think he's that good of a player.
I think he's one of those players.
Not at the top level. He's obviously very efficient in the Premier League because of his system that he plays in. But I think at a top level, there's a certain caliber of player that you've got to take to an international tournament, and taking Lewis Dunk isn't quite on that.
He's not the right
level.
sort of player.
Yeah.
No.
So no chance for me.
No, I'd probably put him no chance, but
We've done Maitland-Niles, haven't we?
Maitland-Niles.
Yeah.
Is he so unlucky?
He just slips out there. Yeah, he's there, isn't he? Yeah.
No, he's just been there twice.
Is that Rashford?
Yeah. Marcus Rashford. Yeah.
Could
100%. I'm saying 100%.
No, he probably could.
He's not. I think it's good. He doesn't 100% start.
He doesn't 100% gill it.
The only reason he doesn't 100% start is just because of how many attacking players.
Yeah, I'm not 100% like a Rashford. Like, I do love him, but like he's got a lot of mistakes in him still. It's not consistent enough, but he's got to the point now where he might not have a good game, but he almost always provides a goal. Like, he's similar to Fernandes in that respect now, where he might not always play well, but he's always going to get you like most of the time a goal or an assist now. And,
but is that because? Go on, finish off, and then I'll say what I was going to say.
I was just going to say I don't think, like, I think I've said it before as well. Like, I think he offers something different to any of the other players we have, and if we're going, like, he's just like such a good weapon to have in like a transition, like that none of our other players have, I don't think, which is why I'd start him.
Yeah, we said, just going off that then, we said it last week. Morgan said it, I think he's the most similar player to Son that we have, isn't he? So in terms of playing with Keane, then he'd be very good at doing that. What I was going to say before is, I need to think because I forgot. It's completely blown my mind now. It's completely blown my mind. Go on, someone else say something. I'll try and think of what.
I think because we've got so many attackers, it's just hard to say he will start. That's the main problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, I think with our keepers, obviously there is not one of them. We put them both in could start because I don't think any of them are guaranteed. And the attackers, just because of the vast amount of good attackers we have, I don't think not one of them is guaranteed. So I don't think you can put him in there. I'd maybe move, by that logic, you'd have to move Grealish down as well. But I don't think any attacker is guaranteed to start just because of the amount of good ones there is. So that's
the only attacker guaranteed to start is Harry Kane. He's captain. He's the best striker.
Apart from Harry Kane, but I meant like movies wise.
Yeah.
Okay, another United lad then, Mason Greenwood.
No chance.
Kane's got him 100% will start.
I think obviously the thing is the numbers have shown that Greenwood hasn't had as good a season as last season, but his all-round performance has improved. But I think because he hasn't been getting the goals, and that was what gave him a chance of getting into the squad last time, because he got in a couple squads he got in the squad at the start of the season before the whole him scandal.
Him and Foden.
But I think that he's improved as a player definitely, but I think because he's not on form goal scoring, he won't make it. But I don't think there's, like, if Greenwood went through a similar second half of the season and there was a couple of injuries, I wouldn't be surprised if he was called up ahead of the likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi or Harvey Barnes. But I think it's unlikely. But he's definitely, that doesn't mean that he's got worse as a player.
If Greenwood's starting, then Craig Dawson has to, because Craig Dawson's got more goals than him. So
I think it's the one goal in the Premier League, but
I'm a Craig Dawson.
His all-round games definitely improved.
Yeah,
he's definitely improved as a player. Yeah.
Since that thing happened with Foden and Greenwood in that last camp or whenever it was, wasn't Foden recalled afterwards and Greenwood wasn't, or is it the other way around?
It was. I think
Foden.
That's a sign then.
Maybe Southgate just doesn't like him.
Yeah, do you think that's a sign, an excuse to keep him out?
No, I think that's to be honest. I think what happened with that was after the whole thing that happened with Greenwood and Foden, Greenwood got so much abuse, and he didn't really play for United at the start of the season because of that.
Which one of them apologised though, didn't they?
One didn't. I think Foden apologised, but yeah, it's just that after that, Greenwood just went for a really rough few months, and I'm pretty sure he barely played for United at the start of the season. Like, I don't think he started any of the first 3 games. Maybe I might be wrong. But
a young player comes with the spotlight so much, it puts pressure on him. So.
I don't want to go on to it, but I just think Southgate's handling of that situation was awful.
Maybe for another podcast.
The whole
then,
situation.
Maybe for another podcast.
Yeah, right, go on then.
Okay, Mason Mount.
On the plane.
On the plane.
I think
on the plane.
Yeah, no, on the plane.
Yeah, on the plane.
I don't think he starts, but
I think he can. I think he might start maybe specific games, like maybe against a better opposition where we need to have a good press or like something like that, because he's a really good presser. But I don't think he's going to start more than
Southgate really likes
games
him
in the tournament.
Southgate obviously really likes him, doesn't he? And I think he scored against Belgium, I think, when we played him. Playing a bit more advanced. Yeah, playing a bit more advanced. But yeah, no, he's definitely in the squad, isn't he? I think there's no debate.
Yeah.
Phil Foden
could start.
Could
start with the logic.
The logic of no attacker apart from Kane definitely starts.
I think we need to move Grealish down as well, to be honest, by that.
Yeah. Move Grealish. Yeah.
Right, we'll keep him that.
And
then who's that? Raheem Sterling.
Same thing. This podcast is going to be dominated by talking about attackers missing out and getting in. And it just shows how good the attack is. That we've got people like Grealish, Foden, Sterling, Rashford, and Sancho that we've had to say quality. You can't say any of them will 100% start.
I think Rashford's had a better season than Sterling.
I don't think he has.
I think Rashford's had a better season.
Rashford's had a better season. Maybe last year you would have backed Sterling as 100%, but this season he's still a good player.
Recently, Sterling's been excellent.
Yeah, but then to be fair, if it's a through goal 1-on-1, I'd back Rashford to score over Sterling.
Yeah, so would I, but that's not the only element of it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, say for example, he plays with the Kane thing being Kane and like the Son runner thing. I'd rather have Sterling as the runner.
No,
not Sterling, Rashford as the runner.
I don't think he cannot do that with the amount. Cannot just rely on two players like Spurs do.
Oh no, I'm not saying they will. I'm saying in the scenario.
Sterling in that scenario, Sterling wouldn't be that type of player anyway. I don't think.
Yeah,
to just be a runner.
Yeah.
No.
But you got to think about, say for example, we're literally under it, and then we need an outburst counter attack.
Yeah, but that's why I said Rashford's 100. That's why I think Rashford's 100% starter, because he does offer that burst.
He did it the other night against. He did it yesterday, didn't he?
He done it about 5 times. He just
I think
no, but the goal he scored.
I
think if you're going to like a team that's going to sit deep, which probably all 3 teams are in the group stage, maybe not Croatia, but they might. But Sterling is better against.
That is a good point.
Definitely against a low block. Yeah.
Sterling might be a better option against a team that will not offer you as much in a transition, but.
Yeah,
I do think Rashford.
Yeah,
but yeah,
Rashford is better on the counter attack. Some of the time, Sterling on the counter attack, you just think, "What are you doing?" When you watch him, like, "What are you doing?" But nah, he's good against a sitting defence. To be fair.
Okay, let's move on. If I'm counting right, I think we've got 19 in our squad so far. So if we're going for a 23-man squad, we've got four spots up for grabs.
That's not including people that aren't on this list that we're going to talk about after, I presume.
Stones and Shaw are going to be there. Yeah,
but 21.
I think. I mean, might get a bit of stick for it. I think Shaw is debatable. I think in terms of playing, he'd definitely be on that. I think we all agree that. I just think in terms of Southgate's opinion, he's not been in the squad for a while, and I think he's not a liability. But I think obviously with his previous troubles before, I think he has that sort of reputation with him. But I think in terms of our squad, he'd go. But it's one of those. So if we're counting them 2, we've then got 21. So we've got 2.
I'd just put Trent in as well because he's got to start.
So yeah, let's get it. Let's get the one done that we think. So could start.
Could start. Yeah,
no, I think Trent does start. I mean, 100% Trent starts.
He's been so good this season.
Who else do you start at right back instead of Trent?
Maybe Kyle Walker.
Right wing back. Either side.
Maybe Kyle Walker, maybe Reece James. I think Trent's been so poor this season. Last season, guaranteed, but this season he's been so poor. I don't think you can.
I think he's had a poor patch that he's getting out of now, and I just think he's that good. I think he's the best right back in the world, and I think it's stupid if he doesn't start. And that's not me as Liverpool. It is me as Liverpool fan a bit, but that's not entirely the basis. I think he's been so good last season. He's been patchy this year, but he's still got so much time to improve, and he is improving. I think
clearly you haven't seen Bellerin play. So
Shame
Kane's gone, by the way.
Yeah, just noticed that Kane's gone. Let's see if we can get him back in.
Kane saw Trent was coming up and thought, I'm not talking about it.
Yeah. I'm going to do
one more space to go. And then if we've got Stones and Shaw going as well.
Kyle.
Got one.
No, I'd left Saka out.
Yeah, but the thing is, we've got 2 right backs in there already. That's what I'm saying.
Well, we've got 2 left backs in there if we have Shaw in there.
First,
yeah, but then Saka could play centre midfield, left back, and winger.
Should we not just
but he won't start. He won't start in any of them.
I'm not saying he would start, but they brought Delph to the World Cup, didn't they, a few years ago, because he can play as a centre midfielder and a fullback. It's just
do you want to put Barkley, Tarkowski in the no chances? And
I'd put Barkley. I'd put Barkley in unlikely because I think he's played well. I think
he's been alright. Yeah. Tarkowski and Trippier aren't going.
Yeah. Trippier quickly.
Trippier I bet Trippier goes, but he shouldn't.
No, he won't. He can't now. He hasn't. He's been banned for like 9 weeks.
Oh shit! Yeah, I don't think about that.
He's got his ban.
So that's the thing. Whether Southgate will hold that against him, which he should. He kind of should, but kind of shouldn't. It's not.
I don't think he'll hold it against him, but
do you know what? I'm pretty sure he's like the 2nd top assister in the La Liga or something like that, or 3rd.
But if he's missed out on like 9 weeks or whatever, 9 games of football before tournament, he's not fit enough to play. In my opinion, so he surely can't.
I think he's back in March.
Is he?
I think. Yeah. I think he's back just before we go for our international break.
Yeah, a lot of it depends on whether he's in that squad. I think Southgate likes him, and I think we were just saying about does Trent definitely start. I think Trippier started a lot of the games we played before. In our opinion,
saying that you're starting Trippier at left back over Shaw.
Yeah, in our opinion, he doesn't go, but Southgate might take him.
So unlikely.
Unlikely.
I think it's unlikely.
So it's one of these two.
It's the big debate, isn't it? Out of these 2,
I'm gonna back my boy. Just because of versatility, that's the only reason why. I mean, we've got 2 players that can play right back in the team already. Then you've got Shaw and Cresswell can both play left back. But on the off chance we play a 3 back, Saka can play as a wing back, centre mid, and a winger. So it's just down to versatility.
I think both are really good shouts because Saka's had.
You say Reece James, he can only play as a right back.
I know, but you say versatility. As a winger, is he threatening? No offence to it.
He's not threatening any of them.
He is not threatening Sterling, Foden, Grealish, Rashford, or Sancho for a place.
No, not with any serious intent. No.
Yeah.
As good as he is, then I don't think he's
a very good player. Left back, is he threatening?
I'd back him as a wing back better than
as a wing back. I'd take a case for him. I'd say that he obviously was capped in November, I think, when we had our last internationals, and he did play a lot of games as a left wing back. Southgate never used him as a left winger. Yeah, and he played a lot for us at left wing back.
I think Southgate sees him as the wing back.
Yeah, but then the other argument is Reece James had that thing where he was sent off. He then apologised publicly, and I remember Southgate then came out and backed him as well, and sort of then sung his praises. So I think he likes him as well. James's argument is he's not playing a lot for Chelsea at the moment since Tuchel came in, and Saka's Arsenal's best player.
He's the first man on the start on the team sheet.
And the thing with James is he's I think just because it's Gareth Southgate, Kyle Walker will be considered a centre back. Yeah. And if especially Southgate sees him as a starting centre back, he then needs to cover. Needs to cover for Trent at right back. James is the perfect cover. And if we're saying Walker's your backup right back, there is no need for James, but I don't think we are.
Yeah.
So I think it depends. I think whoever gets in out of these 2 really depends on how you see Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
I think if we play 5 back, I think Saka starts over Chilwell.
Yeah, but then at a 5
back, obviously sure, but
is Trent Alexander-Arnold that good as a out-and-out wing back?
See, I think Trent's a much better fullback. I think he's a decent wing back. He's not. I think he's a better wing back.
Do you think he's a better fullback because of the way he crosses?
I think the wing back, and it helps because it's Liverpool's system. The way we play that allows freedom.
Yeah, but he almost plays as a wing back in Liverpool's system because he's so high up.
But he's not expected to be as a wing back. He's a fullback primarily. I think if you add the wing back in, it confuses the roles. And
it's
hard to say. he's a much better fullback that can attack than he is a wing back. If you go with what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think we should take a vote. I think Kane's trying to get back in. See if he comes back in. I think we should take a vote on these last two, because I think they're both good players. There he is.
Here he is.
Yeah. Let's take a vote. Hello, mate. Good time. We're about to take a vote, and obviously 5 people it's going to go one way or the other. So start with Kane. We've got Reece James or Saka, and I think I know which way you'll go on this, but go on.
Between those two, I'd go Saka for the versatility mainly.
There we go.
But we all know that me and Morgan are going to vote for Saka. So Saka is on the plane, and Reece James is. It's debatable. I think
it's 50-50. Yeah,
it's 50-50, isn't it? We can't really give a good argument to say yes or no for either. So what do we think then? Are we all happy with that?
You can have your star boy in the squad if you need him.
What players
we
did you put in this
we need
squad
one
while
Arsenal player. So we need one Arsenal player.
Just the guaranteed players, basically.
We put Trent in, and then we had a big talk about how Trent's the best player in the world that you'd have loved.
You put Trent in, then he was a no chance for me.
And then we left like Barkley, Trippier unlikely, and took.
We had a debate about Trippier, but yeah.
Oh, this is probably Saka's better than Greenwood. Facts.
I think that's our squad though.
I think we've got a good chance of winning it if he plays the right team. Which
I think our squad is good enough to do it, but is our manager good enough to do it?
Yeah, we are odds-on favourites to win the tournament. In all the bookies, we are odds-on favourites.
Oh, actually?
But yeah, I'm pretty much all of them.
That's bold.
Do you reckon Lucas take a bet on?
Obviously, they're English bookies, so they're going to be a bit more lenient, maybe, to try and entice more people to bet on it and get them a bit excited. But we're about 5-2, I think, or something, and the next best is like Belgium at 9-3 or something. I can't remember.
I think Portugal have got the best chance.
Portugal have a good chance.
Solid side.
I don't know. Bruno Fernandes does not turn up in the big games.
Edison's got more goals and assists against the big six than Bruno. So Kane is in tears
yesterday.
Edison actually has more goals.
They're still in a relegation battle, aren't they?
Did you say?
We're only like 5 points behind Liverpool or something.
Relegation battle.
Okay, I think. Apart from that last one, we pretty much all agree. We can't say Saka yes or no, but I think we all agree on the rest of them. So.
There's a few that obviously we're going to disagree, but I think the important players we all agree on.
Yeah. Good.
In which case,
perfect. It's a decent tier list. I'm looking forward to watching us in the summer. To be fair, the World Cup in 2018 was amazing because we got far, but we didn't actually play great football.
We did not play well.
I feel like we'll actually play some good football in this tournament. Hopefully.
Let's hope so. Just notice that this tier list is made by James Alcott, if any of you know him. So shout out James Alcott if you watch him. We know you're a big fan of the show.
Yeah. You've left Stones out, so what are you doing there?
Yeah, no.
And Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw and John Stones get in there.
Guaranteed.
And Patrick Bamford. Patrick Bamford should be in there.
No.
All right. Patrick Bamford could be in there. I think we mentioned that earlier, but he could be.
Could be. But will he start over Calvert-Lewin and Kane?
No. Ultimately, no.
Okay.
Decent.
Right. I think we're good there. Cool. All right. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Let us know your thoughts on who would be in your team. As I said, we'll do something where we'll release our own starting 11s and whatnot, and we can show sort of what our opinion is then. Like, subscribe. Thanks for watching again. See you next